Welcome back, everyone. Jack with Crichton Chronicles, here with a story about a Greg, from the Real Rejects. I just came across the Real Rejects just this past week because I've been wanting to get back into doing reaction videos. I mentioned in some of my other videos, for a while in the past, my videos turned to more reaction videos for movie trailers, and sometimes game trailers and TV shows and stuff. Just trailers in general, because I love trailers. My whole life I've loved trailers. I got discouraged years ago, and some life stuff happened, but I was also at that point discouraged because of the whole uh, copyright claims hit me all the time, and I was just like, well, whatever. I wasn't anywhere ever near close to monetizing, but it was like, if I was, and that's my main focus, maybe some of the board games and card opening and pack opening and stuff like that. But it was more like, well, am I ever going to be able to make anything of it, even if I did happen to potentially get to that point? Doesn't matter after time that they changed everything where I wouldn't have been able to monetize anyway, but I was just discouraged. So getting back into it, I was like looking into videos, trying to find, is there a way to get around that now? Has it died down now? Is it worse? Like, who knows? Because I was debating how to run my reaction videos. So I came across, so that's neither here nor there, I guess, technically, but came across the Real Rejects. So I've only seen like two, maybe three videos, now technically three from them. And one of the videos I came across this morning showed up on my feed, and it was Greg from Real Rejects, and he was explaining a story about his interactions with a YouTube creator support employee or whatnot. So basically, I'm gonna try to get everything right. I got some notes just in case, but it's pretty straightforward. Greg had, in short, tried to recover a video. He had in the past videos that were not deemed appropriate and flagged for community guidelines or whatever, not necessarily flagged, but just removed and whatnot. And he wanted to find another video that was, for some reason, he did not have a copy of this video. This is where I was a little sus at first, because he wanted a video, it had been removed, but he found it was still on his video manager for his channel. So he had heard, or maybe had experienced, that if you appeal or dispute that standing, that you would then maybe get temp access to that video. And in doing so, he kind of, in a way, I feel, uncovered something kind of really freaky and concerning, and just in general about YouTube. And what it was, well, one, he wasn't able to get access to his video like he wanted to, because he wanted to download it. That's where I was a little sus. I was like, it was like a very popular video or important video to him, it seemed, maybe, and I didn't know why he wouldn't have a copy of it, or others have copies, or whatever, where he'd find another way to get it rather than attempting to game the system, YouTube system, to appeal or whatever and dispute and then get access temporarily to get it active to download it. So, and that kind of gets mixed into here a little bit, because basically he, for whatever reason, then after the fact, after doing that, just moments later, since he was not able to access it, so he, I guess, deleted it from the system forever, like, just done. So he deleted it from his channel, period. And it was kind of like a wash, and he was like, whatever. And then 6 hours later, he basically got an email from YouTube, the YouTube team, basically stating that the video had been reviewed, and it did not meet still the community guidelines, and basically was issued a warning. And so he was a little confused because it had been a 6 hour period of time, but mostly because he had deleted the video, so he didn't know how they were reviewing a video that was deleted, what I'm assuming he figured was from the system, period. So, and this is where I was kind of like, well, I wondered if, since he had activated it, and the appeal, that it was reviewed, maybe, I don't know if it was automatic, or he said this sounded like an individual, so he thought maybe people actually looked through it. I don't know if a bot would go through it again or whatever, and then something would flag, or somebody actually, I'm assuming if you dispute, they have somebody like go through it. And so I was thinking, well, he got the warning because he activated the video in a way by appealing it, and then regardless of deleting it, it was, still reviewed and whatnot, and so therefore he got the warning. And so I was kind of whatever, but then he kind of shared a discussion he had with, I believe the individual is JT from the YouTube creator support. And from that discussion back and forth, was basically told that even though the content is deleted, that it does not exempt it from community guideline strikes. And so there was a little back and forth thinking that maybe JT misunderstood and whatever, and he was trying to explain, well, he didn't get a strike. He wasn't trying to like get a strike and then delete the video hoping that would delete the strike and save the channel or whatever. Because if you get a warning, then, I mean, a lot of times you'll get a warning and that's the first time, and that's what JT explains first. You'll get a warning and then you'll get strikes thereafter. And, once you start getting strikes, the first one, you can't access your channel, or at least I know like live streaming and stuff. So, and I don't even know what happens after the second one. I'm assuming at some point you could maybe lose access to the channel for a bit, and then, they'll terminate the channel. So it's not a light thing. It's not a little thing. It's a big issue, and you don't want strikes. And lately through the years, I've noticed, and I've griped about it just personally, just watching other people's videos, where it's like the guidelines have gotten stricter and stricter and stricter. And to be honest, a little more ambiguous, where it's kind of like, oh, we can pick and choose, if this is actually a violation of the community guidelines. It's kind of like just not really set in stone. You've probably seen a ton of people complaining, a lot of content creators going on about it, some who have dealt with it personally with either strikes or whatnot, or just those who have read the terms and just can't agree with them, or just thinking it's crazy. And I'm one of them, where I was just like, this just sounds nuts. Like, it's just allowing them the access to do whatever they want for whatever reason without any like set terms and conditions and everything. So, but in this discussion, yeah, he was told that Greg reiterated that it was, even if he had deleted something, because this video was old, I can't remember how old, but he used 6 years, so I don't know if the video was 6 years or it's just like from 6 years ago or years ago, I delete a video that doesn't have a strike or whatever, that content could still be flagged and issue a strike against the channel, to which the employee stated yes. So, yeah, I don't know. So basically, even if you have deleted content, it can still cause your channel to get striked or potentially removed. I wrote down some of the the finer detail, like the actual direct quotes, but basically, so this is what JHT had said, and this is all in Greg's video, and he shows the chat between the two of them, but basically said that deleted content does not exempt the content from a strike, regardless of how old the video is, from however long ago, it doesn't matter. And I don't know, something about that just, I mean, obviously, like, I've had issues with their terms of service and their guidelines changing and being ambiguous, like I said, and this is basically, they state that it doesn't matter even if you've deleted it. And I think there's, like, obviously the belief that because throughout time the guidelines have changed and shifted and been revamped and made stricter, that some stuff was kind of grandfathered in, where like your channel wouldn't be hurt by older content when times were a little different in the guidelines. But I don't know if that means that you have to remove them, because a lot of times they're like, use your best discretion, you yourself as a creator, to whether this violates our terms and service and our guidelines, without really stating what strict rules and hard lines are. I mean, minus a few are, because it's so ambiguous. So it's like, how about, I always had the issue, how about you tell me where this video like messed with your guidelines and overstepped and, you know, is in violation. So, but they don't, they just like, you find where we found what it was, is like, because that's just gives the impression that they're just like, flag it or strike it, and then hopefully you can find something that maybe they didn't even have in the first place. I don't know. It's really weird. I hate it. But either way, this really just creeps me out because basically nobody's channel, whether you're big or small. I mean, I have, what, 60 subscribers, and they're, I bet only 10 of them might still watch because I've had a gap of 3 years because now I'm just trying to come back, and like I said, life shit. So, but either way, it's just the fact that, like, it doesn't matter whether you're big or small, you're going to now have to worry about the fact that not only YouTube can determine and make a strike against some violation that they might not even be clear about and leave just kind of ambiguous, but that it could happen to for any content you've had on a channel for your entirety of having said channel. So, I mean, like I said, he had that video, wasn't even viewable, wasn't whatever, he didn't even have access to it, but he deleted it. But if they but they didn't have, if they wanted to, they could go back and cut it out. I saw my video went off. I'm hoping that my video was still going, so I don't know what cut, so I apologize. But basically, it's just they're now able to no longer just issue a strike without fully explaining it, maybe not even telling you what caused it, letting you just guess. Now they can do that for any content throughout the history of your channel. And I think that is crazy and messed up. And yeah, obviously then I feel like it just automatically implies that they have an entire database and server just full of everybody's stuff. Whether you delete it or not, it's there. Kind of like I've always joked, like people send texts and do all this stuff and they think they delete it. Technically, it's still stored somewhere and they have access to it. That's like YouTube. So I don't even know how, that's just got to be a ton for the servers and everything just to store all this data. And because they'd also have to have said content still tied to each account so they know whose it belongs to, because other people can upload your videos sometimes if you allow that and whatever, or they swipe it and they try to post it and whatever. So there's that whole thing too. And so they have to know who is the creator of that content. So all that's still in database. Whether you delete the stuff or not, doesn't matter. And they can basically screw you over. I mean, sure, if you do something crazy and like in blatant violation, sure. I know he said that you could obviously still like voice concerns and like challenge or dispute a strike and kind of explain the situation, but I don't know how viable that is. So I did write down, because I have to get the direct quote, because I even wrote it down wrong, but it was kind of ended with JT telling Greg in a very, in my opinion, super condescending manner. Where it was almost like, at one point, Greg thought it was like, am I talking to a bot or is it whatever? But then it's like, oh no, okay, that sounds legit. It's like a dude. But this made me think it was like a bot. But it was just like, because it's just like so just cold and just like matter of fact and like douchey. But it was like, let this serve, may this serve as a lesson to be more mindful of the content you post to your channel. And then reiterated, because here's the other thing, and this is why I said in my header that, or title, that they could potentially just delete your channel altogether. A single use, if severe, a single case, if severe enough, can equal basically a channel termination. So not only could you just get a strike, but if they go back and they find something that goes against the current guidelines, community guidelines, and they deem it bad enough, they can just terminate your channel and then it's just gone. And so I don't know. I just think the implications are just freaky and disturbing. And yeah, obviously they're not going willy-nilly with it, because I feel like there's a lot of content creators out there. When Greg talks about like an alter ego he had, and it was like very more just like perverse and inappropriate and everything, and so he was, I would imagine, like, he's got to be like worried like what old content could still get dredged up if wanting to nix their channel out of existence, basically. And it made me think of Boogie 2988 and Francis, and like, 'cause I think he had some old, while back, he had some of those videos being flagged once things were updated, guidelines and such, and people flagging him, and or him just getting flagged or whatever. So it's just like, man, if I if I was Greggy Boy or Boogie Baby, I'd be sweating bullets, because who knows? Now, I feel like maybe this is just something that they're using as like a fallback, and they're not, like I said, they don't seem to be actively utilizing this ability to do so, but apparently, maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just like a fallback if like they're like, okay, this channel has caused some huge criticism and controversial stuff and whatever, and it just leaves them the opportunity to be like, oh, this video from 10 years ago violates our guidelines, strike, oh, this one, two, boom, boom, or whatever. If they find one severe enough, nix ya, and then you're done. And it's just like an easy solution for them to just kind of wipe the slate and adios. So, I don't know. It just sounds crazy to me. So yeah, I just thought it was something that I wanted to talk about and just kind of discuss, because I think it's kind of crazy, and I kind of want to know what all of you think. If you, I don't have anything fancy. I don't do editing really. I don't even. It's a whole process of learning, so I can't put in little snippets of the Real Rejects video where Greg talks about the stuff, and I don't think he'd even mind if I did, but I'll leave a link in the description below to that video. I would encourage you to go watch it to get a more fleshed out story from him and just understanding of what was going on. But in general, the gist is just the fact that YouTube can potentially delete, strike, or potentially delete and terminate your channel from content that not only is recent but old, not even old, but deleted. So I don't know. I mean, I don't read the terms of service and stuff when you do it. I don't even know if you own the videos that you post on YouTube at this point anymore. Like, do you actually own it? I've never got to the point where I got paid for any of my content. I'm super far away from that. And now you need 1,000 subscribers to even get remotely the chance to. So that probably isn't going to happen. But either way, I just think it's crazy. And so I don't even know, like, if you own the content, and now it's just the fact that they probably have a complete database of everything throughout the entire history of your channel. If this individual stating that they can delete or they can terminate or strike your channel for violations to the community guidelines from deleted content, that's messed up. So I'm hoping his video, and I wouldn't mind if this one, but just I like the discussion is like, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is fair? Do you think this is messed up? I'm really curious if people think it's like a good thing, because I can't in any kind of reality feel like that's a good thing. But considering all the other stuff with the channel, like YouTube, and like I said, the ambiguity of everything and like their terms of service and guidelines in general just seem to be kind of like just willy-nilly picked and chose like who they're gonna force these violations on and guideline strikes and everything, where like bigger channels kind of get away with stuff. So it's like there's that whole aspect too. I don't know, the whole thing's kind of messed up. So let me know what you think below. And like I said, the Real Rejects, I've only seen a few videos of them, but I'll probably continue watching them. I thought it was a really cool video. I just thought it was like awesome to like come across this, because he seemed to stumble upon something that a lot of people don't know about, and I think it's messed up. And so yeah, I would encourage you to check out that video. Like I said, I'll have a link below, and yeah, just check them out if you don't know who they are. And otherwise, yeah, comment below, maybe have some discussions about this topic, and I don't know, curious what you all think. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and taking the time, and until next time, take care.